Everybody's all concerned about N, P, and K, Brian, and we forget about one of the biggest nutrients that we need out in our crop because it's labeled a secondary nutrient, but it's extremely important. It's calcium.
When you look at the base saturation test on calcium, we want to see that number between 65 and 80%. As long as it's above 65%, we're usually feeling pretty good about that. And here's one of the most important things you need to understand with calcium. It's a big molecule. Let's compare it to magnesium. That's a very small molecule. Now, just think about the pore space you have when they're big molecules. The example I always give, and I probably used it on the show before here, is let's say I'm in a great big room and I fill that room with basketballs. Okay, I can still breathe because there's plenty of pore space, plenty of air that's able to move between those basketballs. But if I fill that great big room with sand, guess what? I'm dead. There's no pore space. The same thing happens in your field when I compare a big molecule like calcium to a small molecule like magnesium. I've got to have plenty of calcium in the soil, so I have plenty of oxygen there. If I don't have oxygen, I don't have roots.
Now, if you've got a high pH soil and a base saturation of, say, 58% calcium, and we say put on lime, you may think we're just crazy. But you have to get that calcium out there, and we have the best response putting calcium carbonate out there to get that calcium quickly available to your crop and in your soils. You know, we talk about other options like gypsum, for example, calcium sulfate, and a lot of times in those high pH soils, that may not be the best product to get us a quick response.
What we're trying to tell you here is we want you to learn how to read the soil test so you can figure out your best return on investment, especially going into what could potentially be a challenging year for profitability in 2015. If you see, hey, I've got low calcium, you should know, oh, I can get a good return by putting on some more calcium. It's going to help me on my overall yield and profitability.
And it's not going to matter if you put on more N, P, or K. If you're drastically short in calcium,
that's the point.
That's where you're going to get your return.
If you're not getting a base saturation test done, you need to switch labs, or you need to request from your lab that you get this test run. And again, base saturation is the ratio of 5 different nutrients. It's calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium, and hydrogen.
There's more information out there for you that you can seek. You can look at agphd.com, find out where our winter workshops are at, and specifically our soils clinics. We're going to talk about how to read a soil test, how to pull a soil test, and how to get better return on investment, or a better return on investment with every fertility input that you put into your fields. Also, you can find more information at soils.agphd.com, and you can download the free AgPhD soil test app.
Well, once again, it's incredibly important to get your calcium percentage above 65% in your base saturation soil test. It will help you on your farm, help you make more money, and help your soil improve over time.
All those improvements in your soil are great, but you won't maximize your production unless you can control our Weed of the Week. We'll show you how right after this.